वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। सबको सीताराम। शुभ स्वागतम। On behalf of Trevor, I say welcome to Satsangh tonight. As we know, from the time his soul has left the body until this point, we are still afforded the opportunity to be with him. He is here and will continue to be here until the Bhandara. He's just here minus the physical body. And Lord Krishna yes, very good. He is here just minus his physical body. And Lord Krishna in the Gita described the human being. He used the reference of an onion. When you pick an onion, first what you see, the skin. He says, and that is what this physical body is to the human being itself, just the skin. But when you peel off the first, or the skin of the onion, you will find the first layer, the outermost layer now. And that is what we call the senses. Samjhe? Very simple. And you know, you can peel off that layer. So first you have the physical body, then you have the senses. Then that new layer will come upon. What do we call that? We call it mind. In fact, I don't call it that, Lord Krishna calls it that. He says that is the mind. And when you peel off that layer, now, you will come to what is called the intellect. The intellect is simply, and you know, we have a little voice that spoke to all of you inside of us. That is really a guiding light. That is the intellect. That is the individual. That is the Jeev in you. That is the identity in you. So, after the mind, you come to that layer which is called the intellect. The little voice that speaks to you. When you peel off that, you will come to the middle now, which is a little ball. They call it the core, right? The middle where you have no more layers. And that is called the Atma, the soul. So Trevor is here just like an onion, just without the skin, but the other layers of his being still remain. And yesterday for the shaving, he got a new body. He's in a new form from yesterday. So he's a full being once more. Not a human being, but right now, the name of the form he is in is called a priest. Right? It is a priest. And of course, on the day of the Bhandara, when you offer the food and you lose the kush grass, so I can understand when you send them off. That is when the road to judgment begins. And all of us have that journey to make. And according to the life that we lived, the journey will be according to you. It could be a rough journey for those who have plenty power. And those who don't have so much power, it could be a smoother journey, even towards judgment. Because the same Vaitari river that we hear about, the dreaded, fearful river that many of us will have to go through before judgment. They have to pass that river. For those who live a wonderful life, a proper life, a devoted life, that same vitality turns into Gangama to receive you. That journey across the river will be smooth like Ganga, not vitality. So it all depends, Jai say Karni, why say Bharani. What we do, we get it back with interest, good or bad. We don't get back equal and opposite, never. Because from the time to getting from an action to a consequence or the reaction, there's a gap, and that gap is called time. Just like if you plant a tomato tree today, you don't get tomatoes one time, it takes time, right? And that time in between, when you plant a tomato tree, you don't get one tomato from it, right? You get many more tomatoes. So anytime time is involved in anything, we get interest. So we get interest for good actions and not so good actions, and we all have to give the kind of account, even when you go to judgment. That's how it goes. Whether you are sinner or whether you are saved, we all go through the same process, but probably not the same way or extent. So, when we finally up, because the road to hell also is an arduous one, is a difficult one, is a process as well, and that is why you make all these preparations and Shraddha, the gifts that you give in His name. The essence of those gifts will follow him as his karma. So he will have a more comfortable journey, especially on the Bhandara day, when you send him off, with all the conveniences. Because the essence of it, because many people ask, well, how does the gift and the offerings of Shraddha reach the departed one when you're doing a Shraddha? How does it reach? Garud asked Lord Vishnu that in the Quran. He said, Prabhu, tell me how these offerings that we making, the pindas and these things, and the chapda, and the umbrella, the slippers, the pillow and sponge or bed or whatever you could afford, you know, all of these things. How does it, and how does the benefits reach there? And Lord Vishnu says very simple. He says when you're doing this Shraddha, the essence of everything, essence of it, the best of it is taken up by Suryanarayan Swami. And if we know science a little bit deeper, we'll know there's nothing called matter, there's only energy, but energy vibrating at different frequencies to give things shape and form. But the essence of all those energies, the essence of everything, it comes like, you know, you have a bowl of sweet rice. You make it early in the morning, fresh and nice, with the best milk in it, and you put it out in the heat. And you pick it up this evening. And when you look at it, how would that going to look like? How you put it out in the first place? Because the essence has been taken up, the best of it is always taken up first by Suryanarayan. Samjhay? And when Suryanarayan takes up the best, the essence of this offering in Shraddha as well, he says, Garud, I myself present myself there in Shraddha because we do Vishnu Puja in Shraddha. So we invite Lord Vishnu to be there. And he says, I take the essence of everything that is offered from Suryanarayan, from his own hands, and I give it to the deceased one right there. Everything happens right there at one time. So that's the science. So as the journey goes on now from the Bhandara, eventually we reach Yamlok, the court of Yamraj. And Yamraj is not the god of death alone. We only know him as the god of death many times. but he's not. He's really the God of Dharma, the Lord of virtue. Dharmaraj. That is why Yudhishthira was the incarnation of the young. Right? And we remember Yudhishthira, the eldest of the Pandavas. That's Yamraj really his avatar, Yudhishthira. So Dharma, not only death, because plenty are afraid Yamraj from small hair in the name alone. When they hear Jamraj. It's not something to be afraid of, because he's also Dharmaraj. He looks at everything you do, everything good and everything not so good, because he's the Lord of behavior. So when you finally present yourself now in the court for the hearing, what we call judgment, it's a simple process there. And so says me, right? I'm in front on the box now, the witness box. Right. The first thing Yamraj asks is, Sunil, tell me all the good things you do in life. And I will start parparawing, I'll start probably even boasting. But I wouldn't talk for too long. 10 minutes, if I talk for so much, that is too much. And for us, 10 seconds, some of us, it might be too much. When you ask them all the good things you do. So we answer that question very easily to Yaman. Then the second question, Jibod, is tell me how much bad you know.
I get a computer.
And that is the time when we hear that, no computer say we're there. That is the time, you know what we do? We start to swallow, we spit. From the time we hear the question, swallow, spit. Because we start to now feel shame for the way you really live. The things you thought you gotta hide, you keep it low. It starts to come in your own mind, and you start to swallow this spit. And we don't answer, we just kind of, start to bucky. And then it have two people in the court, two big time lawyers, one named Chitra and one named Gupta. Chitra, he's the one who does record all the good things. That's why I named Chitra. Chitra, Chithiya, a letter. So, and long time people used to write letters. Remember that, Ashley? And of course, if you didn't see somebody for a long time and you get a letter from them, you feel like you see them itself when you even watch this envelope and the address who sent the letter. I don't know what I'm talking about, right? Especially elder ones, not the older ones. Because these young boys, they know how to talk to a girl and vice versa. So good news, that feeling that you get, Chitra, he writes no more good things. Just like how you feel when you get a letter, especially from away. But Gupt now, the next man who writes down all the unjust things you have done to yourself and to others, he named Gupt. And Gupt means spy. So a spy only comes into play when you want nobody to know what you do. But he silently takes those records. So Gupt now starts to, when he started to swallow his spit, he said, you remember on this day, at this place, at this time, with this person, at such and such place. And in detail, he gives you the account. And you say, yeah, that was me. And next year, that was me. And Ramayana teaches us, we try to bring in 3 excuses. Kalahi, karmahi, ishwarahi. We try to blame time. You had no time to do good things. You just want to blame time. I didn't have time to go satsang. I didn't have time to do things in the right way the first time. But you had time to do everything that is rubbish the right way. It's how you use your time, Bob. Because your time, nobody knows what is your time. You don't know what is your time. Trevor didn't know what is his time. I don't know what is time. MB didn't know what is his time. And none of you here, including myself, know what my time is. So that's why don't wait for tomorrow when you could do today. And what you could do today, do it now. Then karma, he would have said that wasn't my luck. I was very unfortunate. The stars were against me. The rasi, you know, some people always, it's always about see me first before them move a step in life. All kind of thing. Put God naturally in front of your life and you could go anywhere if you have that faith. Ram. So don't blame luck and destiny and patra for people's situations many times. Because before the problem, there was a reason to bring on the problem. Always remember that. So don't blame luck. Then Ishwarahi, some of us, where do we then know? We just start to blame God himself. God didn't like me. And we say, children looking and reproaching their parents like that now. And it's God's fault that there's God's fault that plenty people like to complain about God. Do it. No one yet want to blame themselves. So that's what's going on in the court of Yamraj. We don't blame ourselves there. We try to palm it off on God too. But we don't get no blind there. Because everything just come out in the clear. Every single thing. And now based on the good that you have done, as well as the not so good you have done, there's 2 scales. One is called Pap and one is called Punya. Pap is sin. Some Pandits spell it because they're afraid to say it. But it's a word. How are you afraid to say a word? Anytime you're operating like that, you're ready. How are you going to teach people the right thing if you're afraid to say the right thing? So yes, there are sins for dirty habits. Always remember that. Don't fool ourselves. Like we lock our beds for the egg. How do you want to do it to go? It have unfertilized egg and white fall egg with meat and have some. Because in San Francisco, that was about 25 years ago when they ended up in San Francisco. And I was looking for a place to have lunch, because I fell up with the white people food. And I find this Indian restaurant with a Swami name and thing on it, so I go in. So when I watch the menu and I watch it going on now, everything have the same egg on it. 20 something years ago. And I had to walk out the place because me and the person who attended me, I said, well, all the time doing something with all the egg on it. I said, I Swami serving this kind of food on it. They say, yeah, egg is vegetarian. But then, I said, oh, the tongue too long. I walk out. I eat the white man food, pizza, and thing, and all that. But it's a strange way we live. And we look for excuses to do the wrong thing. We look for reasons, in fact, to do the wrong thing. And we don't look for reasons to do the right thing. That is the problem. So for the farm, there's a consequence we must pay. And then the other scale, for the good things, they call it what? Punyam, merits. So our merits and our sins are judged at that time. And listen very carefully, because I have heard a lot of people try to explain it, and a lot of people also who listen and the message is not clear yet. So listen very clearly if you get the message easily tonight. Based on the weight of your sins and based on the weight of the person's blessings or merits, for the sins you get a sentence. And that sentence is in a place called Narak, hell. Right? And for the merits, we get a reward of a place called Swarga or Vaikuntha. That is heaven. And after we end our sentence as well as the reward, we have to come back here on earth many times and go over the cycle of internet again and again. That happens to all of us. Only time it doesn't happen to us is if at our dying moment we are able to really call out God's name with love and think of Him. And that's how the cycle of life and the universe continues to run until we pass the test, which is to go back. The soul will have no judgment on it. As soon as you die, you go straight to Atma, straight to Bhagwan, straight to the source of all of our lives. Is that clear enough?
So how long you stay with your Papa and your Punya?
Right. Well,
That is tell you how long you have to remain without getting back a body?
Of course. And the last question now in the case that is tried, or what is called judgment, is after you have X amount in heaven, X amount in hell, still your heart full of Him. It is says, Sunil, which one you want first, the heaven or the hell? And it is my choice now. The heaven first or the hell? I still have that choice. And that's how it moves from time to time. So in a nutshell there, I think we did a clear explanation according to the Garuda Puran, of the regular journey for all of us who are sinners still.
So Bob, when you come back on earth, when you come back and you're coming back in a human form, or you have to take any?
You could take any according to the will, the universe's will. You could take any of the 8.4 million species and go back the cycle till you come here. Through the 4 modes of birth as well. Through egg, through sweat like rice and love coming. Because then it's going through sweat and nastiness. Then have eggs, then have sexual reproduction, and then have asexual reproduction. It goes forwards. So that's how life does go on. I don't know, let's say if I had to come back, I would say Bhagwan went born a silk cotton tree. I don't want to come back as that because nobody doesn't want to go near you and take shelter either. So nobody is chopping me down to go on to the next life in a hurry. So I'm saying?
The heat now would take this record.
Yeah, sure.
Well, one more.
Yeah.
So, if we do something real good by it, a real good deed, so if we have two brothers to the Chaboy,
Talk a little louder, Jim.
if you do a and they do a real good deed, right? So you don't cancel out the next side, I cancel up 10 on this side, but I want good one.
You get plus.
Yeah?
You don't get canceling out.
No, it's supposed to
Then you get a little extra bonus. You get a black. You get an extra. No, well,
one plus stick up.
Then we work. That will happen in Dharmaraj.
No curry game.
No canceling, no curry game. But it's a good question because there are plenty of people with that kind of sense. Field leaders do that. I do put 10 things so I will give them money rather than change this month. Or do something like that and I will cancel. When you don't cancel, it is add. You're going to always add in and your bar always add in too. You cannot cancel it. It's adding to the bottom figure all the time. Because just like the universe, expansion is taking place even up to this point in time. So we operate just as part of the universe. Expansion. Sounded?
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like I totally agree.
Because there is a tendency, no matter how much good that you do, people are going to look for one part that you are. And we keep up on that.
You don't study people, Jew. To start with. In your child, if there are any other people there, is what you choose to do is the important thing. And let other people chew mat. You can live like that? You have to live how more people say you know that. Right? You choose. Because that is a very important point you're making there, you know. What makes us different from all the other species and all the other animals of creation? Lord Ram says that same thing. The power of choice is yours. Because you have a mind and a brains to think what's right from wrong before you read. Not act on instinct like the other animals. So always, the responsibility is yours to choose right. Because many of us know what is right, but do we choose right? We just know what to do right, or we just still do the wrong instead. You have to pay for that problem. You have to pay for that. Now, it's up to God still to lessen your load on up. It could happen. But it's not up to you what you feel. So don't be comfortable in that doubt. Because you ain't sure that can happen. You check what I'm saying? You're not sure that can happen. So be prepared for the good and bad. Because all of us have to be prepared. And the more you're doing good, it's not a cancel out. But if God will choose to lighten up your load a little bit, it will happen. There's nothing in your hands. So that's why I choose the right one time. And the right one time for all of us, parasite means very simply. Yesterday's born, totally a million. And you cannot live in the past. That is my point. You don't live in the past. There's hope always, big Chico, yes, for the future. But if you still make the wrong choices, the future really makes sense. Something? The future makes sense if you stop making the wrong choices. Knowingly, especially.
I like that part of you, knowingly, because there is a way that you may right to every person. Even though that it may be wrong, but you feel you're doing the right thing. But you feel you're doing the right thing, right?
Exactly. So that is why we don't depend. The true wisdom of Sanatana Dharma is never to depend on feelings. Because for every situation, there is guidance available to know if it's the best way to do it or not. And if you do not know the best way, find out somebody who knows it, clarifies it. That's how it should be.
Like what going on the road, And after that, what that custom me now, put a slap me in. I feel like you're writing. Only a lock me up for hitting for that.
Well, slap him in such a way that he know you and he can report you. But if you know that will happen, stay away from slapping him now, brother.
But I feel like you're writing.
Yeah, well, you feel by you know it's not the right thing. But yes, it might be the right thing, but it still have a consequence to it. So once I take a stand your bombs, slap him. Yeah, but as Bauji said, he could well slap your back. Prepare if he slap your back too. Everything is about action and consequence. Are you willing not only to perform the action today, but to live with the consequences tomorrow? They go in tandem. There is a direct relationship with it. And don't feel, because you don't know when it will ever catch up to you. Watch out, brother. In 3 days' time, how the coin turn. And not only him, everybody we know that I have a story behind it. And still we don't learn from young people's story. Because their story, if you didn't learn from it, it didn't make sense than a story. If you say I was close to this one. Like, you know, sometimes we go to funerals. And we as pundits go to funerals a little more than we know all people. And sometimes I say some of them, oh God, what shall we sleep in? Oh God, what shall you lie down me? Oh God, get up now. God. I say one of these days, if you're in death, man, want to really get up. Who's staying around you? Even death to that faith, that a faithless thing so. You know? Yeah, they want to go in the fire too. Yeah, this time they can't take a little body, but they want to go in the fire. But you know, I come from a pundit, apart from Sharma Basdeo, I come from a pundit called Pundit. So he will have said, like, go on, buddy. You know? Yes, I go like the match with you. Because they call that type of behavior pakhan, hypocrisy. And many of us too force right here as a people. And that's why we just choose all kind of dotishness rather than the right thing to do. Because we live with plenty pakhan in this age. So much things we said on the Satsangh start here. Not every realize that, but this is Satsangh. You know? Because we just wrap, you know. And this is the process of life and death. So before we talk anything further, today is what day?
Tuesday.
Thursday, Bauj. And today is Guru Bar. So I want you to remember your Guru, that is the greatest God in your life. And of course, we remember the Guru of this home, because I remember, although I knew the family from ever since I know myself in this family. In fact, I can remember when we bought the mommy by Auntie when they were 14 still. That is all long. I was a little child, about 4 years, 5 years old. You know? When we woke up with this pretty lady. And it never changed. She got pretty life. Since 1990, I can remember coming to this home in the cool time for the year. Many of you much younger. And it's just like yesterday, 1990 to now. Yeah, of course. Remember that guru as well, because the only thing as a pundit I care to do is to honor his legacy, nothing else. I don't care about fame, everybody know me already from small. And that's true. And I've done it all in music or in everything else. All I care is to keep on the legacy of talking the truth. And may you continue, if you call yourself his cheerleaders as well. You know already what's right and what is wrong. May the blessings of the Guru help you make your choices better. So this bhajan says, may we be always in the company of the Guru. Jao, jao, ye mere sadho, raho Guru ke sang. 16 बरस पर आए थे दिन, शांत रहे हम लोग, जाओ जाओ ये मेरे साधो रहो के संग, जाओ जाओ ये मेरे साधो रहो के संग। 16 बरस पर आए थे, 16 बरस पर आए थे, शांत रहे हम लोग, ये मेरे साधो रहो के संग। अब फिर छोड़ चले हम सबको, अब फिर छोड़ चले हम सबको, कहो ये कौन है जंग, जाओ ये मेरे साधो रहो के संग। जितनी दूर भी जाओ रहोगे, फिर रहेंगे सभी। जितनी दूर भी जाओ रहोगे, फिर रहेंगे सभी। ऐसे ही तुम हर एक युग में, ऐसे ही तुम हर एक युग में बदलो हर एक रंग, जाओ जाओ ये मेरे साधो रहो के संग, जाओ जाओ। Another guru of this home, Pundit Yogi Narayan, because if you remember him, even from that time he was probably doing the puja and the जाओ परमेश्वर को भजते, करो भलाई सबकी, जाओ परमेश्वर को भजते, करो भलाई सबकी। सब संसारी गुण गाएंगे, सब संसारी गुण गाएंगे, पूरन नाम के संग, जाओ जाओ ये मेरे साधो रहो के संग, Guru Maharaj ki. So Pandit Vinu gave me one of his kathas from the Garud Puran tonight. But in the interest of time, because it's 8 o'clock already and we only do one bhajan. See how time goes fly when they wounded? Nice. We were talking about the state that Trevor is in now. He's called what? A priest. Right? What is going on we call a spirit? But it's much more than a spirit as we know now. It's a complete being. Not a spirit as, you know, it's a complete being. Everything intact. So we're going to talk about a little spirit that time from the Quran. Just a few of them we'll talk about, 5 of them, right? Simple. So Garud Maharaj is asking Lord Vishnu at this time to continue speaking about life after this life as we know it, how it continues, in what form, what shape. So he says, all right, I'll tell you a katha. And he begins, now Lord Vishnu begins narrating a katha to Garud Maharaj about some spirits, about ghosthood. Yes, about ghosthood, greathood. He says, there was a Brahman called Santap. It's a kind of tongue twister. Santap. Right? In the English translation, they have them as Santapan. But that is not the word. It's Santap. You have to be able to read the Hindi. So depending on English alone, 20 times you get yourself in trouble. That is why it's always good to know the language if you want to teach or preach. Then preach. You can't know the language because you'll mislead rather than to teach. Because a lot of translated things carry a wrong message most of the times. So there was this Brahman, a Brahman who was very pious. He was very noble. He was worthy named. Because you know many people have the name, but they don't want the qualities to go for it, especially in this age. And not only the Baba, they have plenty of people named mother, but are they really mothers? Plenty named father, but are they fathers? Plenty of them named brother, but there is really brother? But they have an enemy. Sisters and children, plenty of them named children, but not children now. I'd like to tell our Indians or Hindus especially, anytime you put your mother and father in the poorhouse, we have no place for you. God has no place for you in life. Especially putting your parents in poorhouse. No police will touch child like you. Instead of a son, Baba say, Pandit Mahesh say, take out the O and put an I. There's a sin, not a son. And as children of Mahesh Baba, you must remember these little things. If your son don't get on like a son, he's a sin. And you must just remind yourself of these kind of things. And correct people when necessary as well. Don't wait till too late to correct people. So that is a word, person who wrote his name, Abraham. Pious. The best when you can think of, he had those qualities in him. And one day he realized, well, watch, this world really don't make too much sense. You can't live your whole life in Grihastashram Dharma. Because remember, there are 4 stages of the life, right? Brahmachar, Grihas, Vanprash, and Sannyas. But in Trinidad especially, we only know Brahmachari and then Grihas. And then it has some men only know Brahmachari without being married in their whole life. And that next time I talk about it. We don't have time to talk about tonight is the rainbows. Right? But stay away from rainbows if you can. That's all I have to say. That is a sickness. Oh my God. So why you mean? So he realizes there's much more than just eating, because Garupuran said the majority of Hindus, the majority of human beings, they will eat, drink, make merry, and dead. That's the main things in life. You hear any God there really? Doing a puja once a year don't mean God in your life. Don't get tired. Or doing a satsang, or doing a jug, or carrying 25 cows. That don't guarantee you nothing. Samjhe? If your mind is not in the right place, your attitude and your emotion as well. And also the reasoning behind things, your attitude behind things. There's plenty of people do a lot of elaborate things, you know. But it's like planted on barren ground. Because it's many times only for our show. And stay away from shows like that. Not enough of the entertainment that one listen to, that the waste of time in the name of religion is in a show. A big show. Okay? So realizing that it's not about eating, drinking, making merry and deading, and call that life really. It has something much more. And the only time you just realize that is when you're in trouble. In good times you don't realize that. They say, how can it swing now? In other words, they ignore the problems when you start to do things or start to fester. So he realized that is not all to life, and he leave the house at that age. He could have. He was retired out, and he said, I'm going to go and try this Van Prussia and Sannyas like in other stages to find myself now and find peace. And you know they used to go in the forest, right? So he goes deep into this forest, into this jungle. And he's not only seeing the trees, but he's seeing all the animals around. And he sees a deeper vision, because remember he's spiritually gifted as well. He starts to see now 5 priests. First he sees a corpse wrap around in cotton and they tie up on a banyan tree. Because that is one of the ways they used to bury people on trees long time. We're deep in the forest and then we're living up in that kind of area. Like if you're hunting and they'll wrap you up in the plow for your tree. So there was this corpse on a tree, and he's seeing 5 priests, 5 ghosts now, attacking this corpse. And he also is a little frightened, right? And he starts to pray to Lord Vishnu. Because that's the time, as we say, time when we're frightened, or time when we're in trouble, time when that's the time when we're supposed to chant God name a little more. So he places his faith and trust in Bhagwan. And what happens? Bhagwan hears his call. And he is going down to that spot now in the forest. And while journeying there to rescue this Brahman, he also sees Kuber, the lord of the Yakshas, Manipad. And he says, let us go down and check out our situation. So Lord Vishnu carries this Manibhadra, the lord of Yakshas, as well with him. And they are watching now the Brahman praying, and what the Preta them doing, them trying to feed on the corpse. Because that is what spirit like, you know. Their diet is the dirtiest of the dirtiest things you could think about. That is why we say cleanliness is next up. We don't say that for style. Because anytime you have rubbish and nastiness around the place nasty, there's a different vibration you bring into your place. So not when you have a nasty mind alone, bro. But when you have nastiness around you too, you invite negativity and you invite prey jungle in your place. Because they're like nasty, dirty things. Okay? Because that is their life. Last moment, I don't know all that. But that is what it is. And you check it out. You'll see plenty of people living. There's how many living deads, you know. More living deads than living people are Ramayana. Angad, Ravan, Sambal. You will know. Angad reminds us 14 types of living dead. A lot of time for that. So, when they go there, Manibhadra takes the form of an expert. Just like how they are. Manibhadra went with Lord Vishnu. Manibhadra take a more terrible form, and he go on and kidnap the corpse. So these priests become even more vexed. So now they have no more food from the corpse. Now they're turning really more towards who? The Brahman now, to take away with him. And while they are starting now to attack, Santap Tap. Say the name, Santap Tap. Say it?
Santap Tap.
Right. The Brahman now asks them when they come in to him, to attack him. He says to them very simply, who are you? Is this an illusion? Is this a dream? Or is this a fancy? Illusion, dream, or fancy? That I'm seeing 5 priests. Who are you? Tell me simply. Because they're saying they're coming to kill him, right? Found it? Are we going good? Nice. I will make sure. So they say they're coming to kill him. So he asks, who are they? These 5 of them. And the chief host amongst them, his name is Paryusit, right? And Paryusit is the spokesman. So he's speaking now. They have the name Paryusit. He's speaking to Santap Tap, the Brahman. He says, well, my name is Paryusit. He is Suchimuk. The 3rd one is Sigra. The 4th one is Rodha. And the 5th one, which is the devotee named Lekha. Right? So the Brahman says one time, why are these meaningless names called out by you? Because then you ever hear anybody name their names you just call? It have no meaning here. Right? So the Brahman, that is something our tradition is as well. we believe that our children should have names full with meaning. Yeah, we just pull them a little English name and into words. Make sure and put a nice name most of the time for them too. One that will just sound nice, but one that mean nice. So what meaningless name you put for them? Why you calling them? Why all the name have no meaning? Tell me now. So immediately let's start the answer. The first one we said, the chief spokesman that he goes on and he says, well, I get this name because once in a month, which is called the Amavasya, the new moon, which that is the date we just do Shraddha, the monthly Shraddha and stuff. That is the best date in Garud Puran and the Tahim. The best day to do Pitra worship is on the new moon. Right? Some people just want the calendar date and these things and insist on a lot of other things. Best date still is the new moon and it will change. And when they tell you the other things, say, well, I didn't know it changed. It wasn't free to say that. Right? Because there are plenty of scientists who mad outside, you know, and call themselves Baba and Baba. Right? So on that new moon date, when Shraddha is performed, I invited a Brahman to my house. And when he arrived, I had already eaten because I was very hungry. So I gave stale food, juta food, to the Brahman in the name of Shraddha, you know, honoring my ancestors. No problem if you give stale food as a normal visitor. But not when you invite a man to come for Shraddha, right? Because let me tell you how to think about it. Like yesterday, the Mahapat, we just call them Mahapat, right? That is an insulted word. Well, because Maha means big and Pata means stone. Mahapat means an important link or communication or a messenger or a postman who delivers. So the Mahapatra, as well as the Brahmins, that's why I just want them to sit down to eat. You know, Bhagara is not only the Shraddha important, equally, if not more important than doing the Pindadan, is to feed a Brahman. Samjhe? Because if you can't afford the rest, just feed a Brahman when you could. But in the right way. Don't say, alright, you come in for 9, but half past 8, you barely make one little gurgur. And say, well, I can't wait on here now. And God knows my heart. Because then I do a page too. It doesn't be my heart, my mind, you know what I eat and know what I drink. If you drink, how you get drunk? Just so. And if you eat the wrong food, how you get all them diseases? Just so. Answer. You have to answer yourself. It's not just so. You just do things for that. So don't use them. When you have your own puja here means sacrifice. You must feel the fire burning a little bit. You must feel the sweat a little bit running. You must feel a little uncomfortable when you're in here. If you don't feel uncomfortable when you're doing something good, that means you're putting the right effort, your best foot forward here. It's only when you feel it, then you know you're really putting the real effort in whatever you're doing. Samjhe? That's why I tell you already fine, because I want to feel it a little bit. Because you must feel it. So this man go and eat the food and then call the Brahman. It's come like you're doing puja before the Baba come and say, I feel like eat some of this cream off me, yes? Nobody ever know. So you hide and take a bowl and you go on and bust it up in the back. And when the Baba comes, they take out in the thali and you normal, and they say, do puja. That is how it is for that. So, when I died, on account of just this sin alone, when I died, I became a prey and got the name Parusit, because Parusit means stale food. That is the meaning of it. So he gave me the stale food back. Samjhe? Because that was his biggest mistake. So listen now, before we move on, an important point to remember. It's not because you do shroud mean you're moving on, you know. Get it clear in our heads. Although we even do shroud and it could give away 10 cows. If you were such a vile sinner in the eyes of the universe, there's no guarantee for you to move on from being a prey to even go to judgment. You will be in perpetual preyhood all the time. As long as creation exists, you will be a prey for everlasting. You understand what I'm saying there? You understand that, Jibod? Not because other people even pray for you guarantees you being able to move on. You can stay as a journey forever once such creation. Because that is why them staying still and that is why them still around. Because as well. Because some sins, when we do things, even justice, God of justice, you me or Raja want to see you. So you're dead, but you can't even get to meet them for judgment. You don't send nobody to bring you across. Okay. So I wanted to think of these things clearly because, as I said, there are a lot of misconceptions. And what I read from is straight from the Quran with preachment without any interpolations, without anybody else's commentary. So it's directly the spoken word of Lord Vishnu. How it goes.
So I thought, Baba, that when it's untimely death, then it will remain young.
Not only untimely, sometimes because of your ways, as I just said, that also influences how long you will stay as a person. So in addition to what they say, you have that. So it's just an extension of that, right, Bash? That is serious. Because some people else feel, no matter what life, when I dead, my son will do this for me, or dad will, somebody will do this for me, Nishan will do that for me, whatever. And think about balance. You think about balance if you want to balance life. You think about balance. That will serious it will be sometime to live our life as a journey forever without any intervention. You must always. That's why we just pray for people we even know for Peter Baptist. That's why we just pray for even the souls we don't know. Souls in the village, souls wandering, souls untimely. All of them receive a little blessing. Because without that blessing could help them. But as I say, they're going to help them. Because it will not, it's in somebody bigger hands. You understand that, Raj? So, that is one of them. How we name produces stable food. The second one says now, his name is Suchimo. You ever hear that name, Suchimo? But you will see the relationship to some things you know just now, right? I don't want to spill the beans here. He says, once there was an old lady, an old Brahmin lady, who went to Hyderabad. The old woman lived with her son, who was a little boy, just 5 years old. And I was a Kshatri, just like all of them. Or they sing, or they Kshatri, right? So I was a Kshatri pretender who stopped her in the wilderness. Because apart from being a Kshatri, I was really a wayside robber. A chore, rooting people. Just like Valmiki was a Ratnakar of his. Same way, a highway robber. And I took her grip with all her clothes and valuables, as well as the clothes the son had on, up to the clothes on the back of the child. That and all that he got from them. And I saw the little boy drinking water from a little tumba, a little jar. And in the wilderness, that was the only water that was available. And I became frightened because the boy was drinking this water and it would have left me thirsty. So I took away the water from the little boy too, and I began to drink it all. The boy died of thirst, and the mother, when she sees she child there and it had no water right around and thing, even the well dry right there, what she do? She jump in the well right there and kill herself too. So when I died, because of that sin, I became a ghost with a mouth as small as the hole of a needle, because Suchimo. I don't know the word Suja now? And look his mouth. Right. So a needle mouth. That's how I get the name needle mouth now. With a little hole as a mouth. So although I get food with this little mouth, I still cannot eat. I have a mouth, but I cannot eat. And that is my name, needle mouth. Bindravan Vihavilar. So we'll hear about the other three in a little while, right? We'll sing a bhajan. So the most famous bhajan when we go to funerals is what? Itanatukarna Swami. But I'm not funeral song, That's for all of you who live in. They're not for the dead, we just sing bhajan and me. It's for we who live in to remind us the only way not to go back, the only way not to go as a pray, the only guaranteed way is Ram Nam, Hari Nam, Krishna Nam. That's why I say Ram Nam. Because we want on our dying breath to chant the name of God. And how do you do that? It's only for chanting God name regularly while you're living. Not only when you're in Satsangh, but your whole day must be Satsangh as well, as it says. Itna tu karna swami, jab pran tan se nikle, govind naam le, jab pran tan se nikle, itna tu karna swami, itna tu karna swami, jab pran tan se nikle, govind naam leke, tab pran tan se nikle, govind hari purushottam namaham bhajami, govindam hari purushottam namaham bhajami. श्री गंगा जी का तट हो, यमुना का बंसीवत हो। श्री गंगा जी का तट हो, यमुना का बंसीवत हो। मेरा सावधान खट हो, जब प्राण तन से निकले। इतना करना स्वामी, जब प्राण तन से निकले। हरि पुरुषोत्तम हम भजामि। उस वक्त जल्दी आना, नहीं शाम भूल जाना। उस वक्त जल्दी आना, नहीं शाम भूल जाना। राधे को साथ लाना, तब प्राण तन से निकले। इतना करना स्वामी, इतना करना स्वामी, जब प्राण तन से निकले। गोविंद नाम लेता, जब प्राण तन से निकले। So I sang 2 verses out of it. So in your spare time, you must be able to sing the rest of the verses as well, right? Because I already go sing 5-verse song, I think it's so early. Leave some homework for you to do. Okay, now, Vashti? Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. So the third pret now is going to say how he got his name. His name is Sigra, right? He says, in my life, my former life, I was a rich Vaishya, a businessman. So one was a Brahman, so far one is a Kshatriya, now one is a Vaishya, right? So everybody does turn pray, Brahman too, right? Nobody is a saint in this life. Put that in the pipe, especially now, and smoke it. Not to let it fool you, and you don't fool yourself. Because some of them in orange, and some of the whitest are white clothes already here for the name they have. They like to fool yourself. The feeling that is board content and the Kamash himself. Because we don't make the choices with the right yardstick. Common sense, missing, and plenty of brains. Samjay? And we like to look at the wrong and make it right. And we have all the bahana, all the peace, all the excuse for it. And you're talking forthright still, but you don't understand the forthright. The knowledge not right enough yet to be forthright. Sad to see. So, I was a rich Vaishya, and I went to different countries for business as well. Not only in my own country, but I went abroad many times on many trips. And on one of these trips, I was accompanied by a friend who was a partner in business. He was rich, but very greedy still. And we know people like that, of the past and of now. Not near enough, they could hardly work. But they were all a little peaceful. Because nothing is enough for some. So he was rich and greedy. Due to bad luck, we fared badly in business to the extent that we lost all our capital. Not everybody, because you're born in business, means you can run business. You know that, right? And that is something Indian people just fool themselves about. Because you're born in business, your parents just fool themselves to think you could run business. Business is made for everybody to run. And as a person who advises business people, that's my work, I advise them many times to hire people to run their business who are capable, rather than leaving it for their children to run. If you know their children are qualified to run. Because, sad to say, that's what it is. Not everybody born in business could run business. Some Jim? Agree? Good. So we lost everything we had. Then, from there now we started to come back traveling in a boat. And it was dusk dark, it was evening, the sun was reddening the waters. You know, it was a red sky, a red. And night soon came. And when night came now, my partner slept away. Because he tired, he was in the heat, he had a long walk to the boat, all of these things. So he sleep away at nightfall. And he slept away right near me. Because we sit down right there, so he kind of me. Sleeping right there, easy. And a cruel thought entered my mind. What is the cruel thought? Mr. Sergio? Mrs. Sergio? Say it? Not to move him alone, but to push him aboard. Yeah, to move him out of the boat. That is what's going on. So that is cruel thoughts entered in my mind. And I threw my friend overboard because when he thought and I couldn't help myself. And that is what we must try to understand. Plenty thoughts that's be racing through my mind. And sometimes you don't know which one to act on and which one to hold on. Subject? We just hold on the wrong one and act on the wrong one. But not every thought means you have to bring it out. Not everything you think, you have to say it and much less do it. You have to know how far it should reach. You have to know that. You have to exercise some control. Because it's not about you alone in this life. Everybody have to understand that. Because some people, there's only what some people don't understand them. And then them themselves just don't understand nothing. But I want everybody else to conform. You got to practice it if you want people to follow it. You can't preach it and not practice it. Anything. So, he threw his friend overboard. And when I threw him, nobody in the boat knew nothing because he was right there and just so easy it was for me to throw him overboard. Nobody realized he was saying because it was night time too. I thought that's a hookah fall there, right? No? Or you go and find it from somebody, right? That was funny. You know the name is?
Trevor Dog what man?
Huh?
Trevor Dog what man?
Oh, Trevor Dog what man? You may pick it for me then. Trev. So I threw him about, but what remained? His belongings, his jewels, his rubies, his gold, whatever little he still had with him, his jewelry, with the little things, I took all of that and I kept it all in my house. And I went and told his wife what? Brother was kidnapped by robbers on the way, and they robbed him of all his wealth. I ran away and escaped. And he said, well, don't cry. He don't know already, don't cry. So you hear how much lie he said right there? Because after this pick up, somebody do something wrong. The next thing to follow is lies. When you know somebody do something wrong already in surgery, and you ask them, that makes sense you ask them plenty, you know, because they will still try to lie it off now and blame somebody else. So when you know the truth, you is king or queen, you have to study for proving that 20 times again, especially when you don't have proof. Because it's not only a set of lies going on there. You try to with your children, call up your children for anything, and most of the time you will start to hear lie. You will hear lie, that is lie, as they say. But you have to put that stuff away from small. But when they're too big, you can't do too much. You just have to know, don't ask them, because they will lie. But you don't know already the truth, and that is the important thing. So, he says, I ran away and escaped. And he said, well, don't cry too much, right? Sister-in-law, Bhauji, don't cry too much. He might appear one of these days. After telling her that, she was so sad that she burned herself up. She destroyed her life immediately. And then seeing my way became clear now. And a free, what is it, free track for the Peter. I went home without any worries. And I enjoyed my friends well to my heart's content. And since throwing my friend into the river, Sig, Rab is my name. I'm with her at Sig, a boy is sing, like Sig, Rab. Right? Have you heard about boys sing already? We used to throw people overboard, I get that name boys sing. Overboard. So the fourth one, we only have 2 more to go, don't worry. Road up. And he's saying, oh son, tap tap. In my former life I was a Sud. So the 4 varnas get there, Brahman, Kshatri, Vaisya, Sud. So none are better than none too much. All of them have the road to truth. But just one thing I don't like is when there's one and they're trying to swear affidavit, they say it's the next one. When the name is not not Maharaj, but you put on affidavit and add Maharaj to your name and add Pundit before, and people who know that following you is them and you going to hell. And we must remember that as well. Pundit Prem Dharam, who is one of my mentors as well, my Vidya gurus, apart from Pundit Mahesh and Vidhamachar now is my guru as well. Pundit Prem was a mentor to me. And right. Huh? He used to be from Lal Dutre's Gandhi village for a little while, Diamond, you know. All those places. He was well traveled. But he was at university just like Pundit Mahesh. And he taught me how to describe who a Brahman is. Because plenty we have force-right thing on Brahman now. Because we just try to make all kind of sense. We just beam life from the Gita itself to try to justify who's a Brahman now. Right? But I wouldn't get into that right now because can't. But just to describe according to him who a Brahman is, he said when you cut a Brahman in Trinidad, for you to understand for we purposes who a Brahman is, when you cut a Brahman, blood will flow. What does flow, Jigo? Siddha does flow.
Interesting.
When you cut a Brahman from Trinidad, for our purposes, remember when you cut him, learn the flow, seed had as flow. In other words, deliver the seed had. So if your father and Aja Kidbab and whoever they come from the ship didn't eat any seed had, or seed had was flowing instead of blood, how you could call yourself upon it now and no seed had never flown in your blood, in your family? Nobody never eat no seed had. You never eat no seed had. Go up. How you could call yourself a Brahman? Understand? You could be a Bhak. Anybody could be a Bhak. But the lineage is important even for the dog. But we just want to pick. Even for the white man. Do you have blue blood like the queen? Did you ever be the queen of England? Do you have that blood in you? No. But only when we say it, we bad. Samjhe? And that is the scriptures, you know. Because if I want to quote from any part of the scriptures to defend what I'm saying, I could do. And those who say against me, they cannot defend from scripture. In the right way. So, a seed hand, a brown hand in Trinidad is when you cut them, seed hand is full. But it must have that connection.
So we have no brown.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Now when you cut him, can he grow up on seed hand? What are you trying to, how you don't know that? How you don't know that, Vashti? You making joke? You making joke there? That's a serious joke to me. No. When you cut now, you will get seed half. You when you cut, because, huh? I'm telling you, you understand what I mean? He grew up on seed half.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
Right. Because I want to make sure you understand. Because it's close to my heart. What Dharma should be and what it is now. That's why I like to get things clear. Sanjay? So, that's what Brahman is. So don't try to be too technical. If you cut somebody and see that they don't have that relationship with it, know them as not a Brahman in Trinidad. You catch my point, everybody? And that's the truth. They have no relation with it, no blood and no. And then we know people who are swearing affidavits. And we know about that? Do you know about that? They put one Pundit in front and then they swear affidavit, Dash Maharaj. They name Kulanjan, they name Lulanjan, Gisiawan, some of them name Ram Singh and Singh and Ding. And then they put one Maharaj and then all they calling them Baba and Pundit. And then they can't be a now, there is a Pundit all of a sudden. And we promote that. Because when they give them an inch, they will take the whole mile. Because Ramayana teaches us in our verse, Sutra Dvijana Upadesha Jnana Meli Janeu Lehi Kudana. That in this age of Kali Yuga, the sutras, Meli Janeu, they will have on a dirty Janeu, because sutras, in the first place, not qualified for Janeu. There's only Brahman, Kshatriya and Vaishya in Yajna Sanskar eligible for Janeu, not everybody. So they will put on a thread. They will look pretty. And they will move like if they don't mash ants in front of all of them. And stay quiet like a church mouse. And because they're quiet and nice and sheepish, you're like, he's well nice, eh? Here they like Sunil Basdeo, who does like to open them out for everything. But watch how nice this one just treat me and he'll make me feel so special. And he's called me Didi, you know. And Mama and Papa and Pupa and Mama and then just call you. And you love them kind of puchara. Any word? You love that kind of puchara. Ain't that any word about? buttering up Chara. Sudar Jidan Ubadesha Gana, and the Meli Janel Lehi Kudara, and they want to play them as the biggest Guyanese, and them know more than everybody else. Little basic things about Brahman child, going study that they know that knowledge already, then the thing that is bring off on. And boast on that kind of knowledge. Think what we learn as little children. Them that now want to call themselves Pundit and Swami and boast on that little limited knowledge that they acquire. And take up all these titles. For what? To misguide people, and we like to be misguided too. Satyameva Jayate, the truth will triumph, not the untruth. Because it has plenty untruth in Dharma, as well as truth. You have to be big enough to accept what is true. And remember what our forefathers did. They played. They didn't play with truth in their life. Something? So he says, my own brother, I was a Sudra, but I was rich. I had 100 villages. But my own brother was poor. And he was poor because I take away what is his. Apart from my own, I took away what was his. And what happened? I stopped giving him even food knowing he was so poor. Stopped giving him any clothes, anything. And my parents, they would secretly still give him. When I found out that, I tied up my parents, I bound them with iron chains and put them away in a deserted mandir in the forest. And my brother, being so lonely and no one to take care of him, he died, my parents died. And since I chained my parents and bound them, my name is Roadhut, which means I am chained. Right? So exactly what you do, that is the name you just get back. They don't sweeten it up for you. There's no point. Even as priesthood, we get a new, just as we get a new body, we get a new name from the universe as well. And finally, Lekha. He says, I was a Brahman from Avanti. And I was the chief priest of the king's temple. And in the temple had the most beautiful murtis. And all the murtis had the most beautiful jewels. But an evil thought entered my mind as well. When the king went to sleep, I alone was there. And I decided to thief all the gems and jewels from the murti. And now people are still desecrating murti up to now. So this is what is going on. He desecrates everything, even to the eyes of the murti where it have nice gems inside. And he take up that tab and started chuck out even to the last piece of gem from the eyes of the murti is sleeping. He takes everything and he carries it home. Next morning, the king gets up. And while he's getting up, I time him. I enter his room, and before he could kill me, I kill him. And then I ran away. And to run away from one village to the next village, he and all had to pass through a forest. And then passing through a dense forest, there now, what happens? a tiger kills me. And that is how I met my end. But because I pierced the eyes of the Murti with the Dantal, with the iron rod, I am now, my name is always Dantal too. Iron rod, late cup. Right? So these are the facts. This is how we got our names, O Brahman. We have given no falsehood today. And here who they trouble. You don't want to know if spirit will trouble you or not. Here who he says, we stay around people who do not follow the Vedas. We stay around places and people who have no feeling of shame for falsehood and lying. They just take a joy in lying and living in a falsehood. That the kind of people we stay with. They who have no faith, no conviction in their religion. Those who have no sense of discipline. Those who have no inclination for forgiveness. Those who have no patience. And those who have no knowledge. We trouble people who do not perform Shraddha or Tiranjali. We eat his flesh and suck his blood. Now hear of the kind of food we live on. I will tell you something that you do not know. The best food we live on is vomiting. That which is from waste, cough, urine, and tears, we eat and drink. Do not ask us anything further, O Brahman, because we are ashamed to tell you about our food and our sustenance. We are ignorant in the dark. We are fools and puzzled. Suddenly, today, because of our connection with you, we remember where we came from, our previous lives. We bow, and at this time, remember who is looking on? Lord Vishnu is looking on, because another he reached there. So he is looking on at the whole prayer, and that is the time now he presents himself before the six of them. And when he presents himself, he brings liberation now to the pretas, and what is called mukti. You don't have to wait till dead to get God or the liberation. In fact, if you wait to die to get liberation, you wait out. You have to get liberation, you have to establish that contact. Don't call God's name in the last minute, dead alone. But from now, start calling God's name in a way that he will respond. So Satsangh was able, even without dying, to get God. For his, to be in that mukti, to be in that moksha, in that liberation. He didn't wait to die. So 5 ghosts get liberation, as well as Satsangh, the Brahman, he gets to go and stay in Vishnu Lok, where he continues up to this day to be a very great devotee of Bhagwan Vishnu. Maha Vishnu Bhagwan Ki Jai. So it is our choice what we do here will influence if we, when we become greats, if we are able to move or not. And when we move, we know it's heaven, hell, or right here once more, and right here once more. Heaven, hell, and right here once more. Or when we die, if we call God on our last breath, with that love, we go straight to him and there is no return. It is for us to decide how that will pan out. Bole Shri Maha Vishnu Bhagwan Ki Jai. So we said quite a lot this evening. It was an enjoyable evening of Satsangh. And we'll sing one bhajan again before we close. वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय।
So Baba, let me ask you one.
Sure.
So if even in this stage at your spirit form, you still have all your mind and your intellect and everything in place?
And senses too. Let me tell you why. Oh, let you understand even more. If somebody get a foot amputated, chop off, right? If you have been around people who had their foot cut off, in fact, you will know that sometimes they don't have their foot here, but they're scratching still. They call that phantom pain, spirit pain. Samjhe? So not because you can't see, don't mean it's there. There are plenty more things we cannot see than we could see. Samjhe? So down to senses remain intact in our way. Samjhe? That is why we do all these karmas, to make them happy. And the best we could send them off will be the best. Because they have feelings they have every day. And we all still have a few more days, 2 more days, whatever, to say and to talk to Trevor and to do the best. And make peace, help him send him off with courage and peace. That's why we just do satsang, you know. We don't do satsang because it's tiring. We just do satsang because not only are you listening, Trevor listening too. And I really don't care about anybody who here. It might sound bad. But the person I care most about is Trevor. In situations like this, I know Trevor hearing the truths. So whatever mistakes he might have made in his life, I can't judge him. He don't know what any mistakes going forward to. Because it's still having life after that for all of us. But most important right now is for Trevor to hear the satsang. Because just as it helps us, it helps him more now to go to the next journey. Samjhe? Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Because you are always better off with the right knowledge. Jai Jai Narayan, Narayan, Hari Hari. Swami Narayan, Narayan, Hari Hari. Jai Jai Narayan, Narayan, Hari Hari. Swami Narayan, Narayan, Hari Hari. Jai Jai Narayan, Narayan, Hari Hari. Swami Narayan, Narayan, Hari Hari. Devi Deeva sabse nyari nyari Hari Hari. Devi Mahima, Devi Mahima sabse nyari nyari Hari Hari. Jai Narayan Narayan Hari Hari. Swami Narayan Narayan Hari Hari. सोना प्रभु के नाम का पार सुचूर जो जाए सोना दो अक्षर का शब्द हरी है लेकिन बड़ा सोना उसमें संकट तारी तारी हरी हरी नारायण 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 तेरी लीला सबसे प्यारी प्यारी हरी हरी तेरी महिमा सबसे प्यारी प्यारी guarantee we can handle anything while we live in and handle things especially when we're not living here again. Hari Naam, which we just did, Ram Naam or Sham Naam. Before a long time, now we just say Sitaram, but our elders long ago would say first Radhe Sham, that was the first greeting. Now it changed a little bit to Sitaram, the same thing. Good? But Ram, Sham or Hari. That's why some of us, instead of Ram, Ram all the time or Sham, Sham all the time, and some people will say, Hari Bol! And they say it with so much love. And somebody who does look like Indian, still have Indian inside us, and Hindu we look the part, you know, but we just need shame to say Hari Bol. It's such a nice energy. Bindrahavan Hari, that alone will save us. Hari, that's that moon, that piece of us, how you use it. It could transform you, but we don't get that chance to transform us because we don't chant these names enough in the right time. Bindravan Bihari Lal ki jai. We clasp our hands. Prabhu, may you take care of Trevor. May these final few days on the earthly realm be a comfortable one with him, still seeing his man, his beloved family and friends. Trevor, we all love you. May God be kind to you. May the mercy and peace be with you. And we pray that understanding and strength be with Ma, your sisters, and with all the family. At all times, I know it is your wish that everyone be happy and well. May our trip be a safe one, Pa. May be a blessed one and a protected one, my Lord. That every step that you have to take be guided and in the company of God. And Prabhu, we love you. Bolo. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Om Namo Bhagav Om Aladhina Dev Shankha Chakra Galadhara Akshaya Pundari Kaksha Preta Moksha Prado Bhava. Om Trevor Bhagwansingh Pretasya Atma Shanti Bolo. Om Trevor Bhagwansingh Pretasya Atma Shanti. Om Trevor Bhagwansingh Pretasya Atma Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Satya Sanatan Dharma Ki Jai. Let me also say thank you to Videsh, better known as Pretty Boy Songs, and my personal sound operator engineer for coming out tonight to help me. Pundit Vinod Kush Maharaj, sorry. Also the Managing Director of a security company, apart from me, a wonderful Pundit. And my role up to here still when I'm lucky. He's also the Managing Director of a security firm, Python Security. And he is still gracious to take the time off on his schedule to be with us. And of course, the man for all moments, Bhishma. God bless you for taking the time, always your family, to be a very damn proud for tonight. God bless. Sabko Jai Jai. Thanks. Namaskar.
Pretty boy, give our microphone later. Come, pretty boy.
So Baba, so if what goes around comes around right here in this life.
Not everything that's going to be right here in this life. That way it won't wrong.
No. Some of the things, like if it doesn't
Yeah.
like you say, if you do something wrong, it will come back to you in this life. Like for instance, whatever you do, your parents with, you will get back right here.
Not everything you'll get back right here alone. Something you won't get back all right here. Something
But you know the saying, when what goes around comes around.
Oh, of course.
So if you get in some of your sins that you do right here, you wouldn't have to carry that with you, and you're getting it right here. I'm trying to get it. So do it.
Yeah, but some of them things, what light and to handle like that, it could. But many of the harder things, you can't handle it right here.
Okay,
That
well,
was just come.
we have a table prepared for you all now. You might want to go for discussion because
There's
I
only
promise.
certain Babas, they can ask things.
Yeah, we will prepare a table for you. I promise the people here, but 8:30 we're going to finish. But we had a lot of Satsangh before, and I know Tavi the other night she came, she prepared to take 1 or 2 button extra. I prepared 8:30 time to done. So we have about 17, about 79. We have 1 more night to go. So tomorrow will be another long day, but tomorrow will be on Saturday. But we'll contact the Rihar at the beginning, they keep up. So I apologize for that. But nevertheless, and I know we have, I know we have been number 1 from Brahma here tonight. But we shall do a real thing in the night. We have a real class drama and a good talk to start on. And we have like a discourse. So see, tomorrow night will be chanted around the church. I think to finish by 8:30. And because by now we next day we have more than 1 quarter of the career, field the career and all that kind of thing, right? So see all you again tomorrow. And what again? Refreshment, refreshment I think. I think we have some other special refreshment. I think we have some able people in the kitchen there, so fellowship and Basti. We have a table reserved for you and Bob.